Welcome. So I'm doing a mission editing video for DCS World on the DCS World Forum. Dover down username something, I don't know, Oibafx something or another, Oibafx. He had a great mission save file that has all these locations marked in the Sinai Peninsula map. SAM sites, what the Egyptian SAM actual emplacements are, early warning sites, all kinds of things, different air bases. You can see here I've started placing all the long range SAM. So I've got all the SA2, SA3, and Hawk sites placed on the map. You saw the rings and everything. It's just a phenomenal coverage. I've also created little nuclear reactor sites too. Pretty close to where the one facility, the ERRT1 and 2, are located. And so, as I'm kind of working up this mission, which is going to be a long range F-15E Strike Eagle strike, where they're going to penetrate through Egyptian airspace and attack this nuclear reactor, I like to keep my mission simple. So this was one I thought maybe help people because it doesn't use any scripting, no Luas. It's very, very simple. And so I'm kind of running through some stuff and I'll walk you through the actual process. I placed all these. I really didn't name them I didn't name them ahead of time, which I should have. So I've had to go back in and start naming them like Hawk first, second, third, fourth to be able to keep track of them. So what's happening is every time the mission starts, there is a 1 in 5 chance that SAM site is still going to be operational. And what this represents is either SAM sites that are been taken out through a seed strike package. So rather than to model flights of seeds and having to fly up in the air and orbit and sit around for the seed strikes to do their work and everything, this represents a massive attack on the Egyptian air defense network. It's going to be representative of a lot of stuff that DCS just doesn't model. So jammer assets, electronic warfare planes, these chaff corridors, drone strikes, Tomahawk cruise missile strikes, all these different things. So in this scenario, basically there's a randomized chance though, and you're not going to know which sites are going to be active until you start getting buzzed. So I think that's kind of a interesting thing that even though I designed the mission, it's very randomized where the actual SAM sites will be activated. I am going to be adding additional assets. These are just the ones that are the known emplacements right now. And this kind of represents some hypothetical, Yom Kippur, whatever you want to call it, modern, more modern assets, even though a lot of these SAM sites are actually kind of relics. They do have some more modern ones. They got some S300s. They got some Patriot systems as well. Those are more mobile sites. They're not necessarily fixed emplacements. I'll be adding some of that as well as some of the shorter range SHORADs, man pads, and AAA emplacements. So keep in mind that this is just the fixed sites that people went through Google Earth and looked and say, okay, this is SA3 or SA3. Actually, some of these sites are no longer there, so it's even marked up. Last known was SA3, but it's currently empty. So there's probably a better way to do this, but this is a very simple way. So every unit, as far as these SAM sites go, are going to have basically two triggers. One at mission start, it's going to set a random flag value between 1 to 5, and then it's going to have another one that if that flag value is a 3, so that 1 in 5 chance, I just chose 3 randomly, then that group is going to activate at mission start. And so a little bit of time consuming. I have to go through and rename everything. And like I said, I'll walk you through the actual process to do the triggers. It's very simple. Like I said, I've gotten involved with some Mist and Moose and Skynet IADS. Held off because I'm not sure with the 2.9 update if Skynet needs to have an update. So I haven't implemented any kind of integrated air defense. There's a lot of early warning radar sites. I haven't placed those yet. I am going to place them. And I probably will activate Skynet. I don't know, it's going to be a little weird. Like I said, you could probably do some of this a little bit easier with scripting, but I want to keep this very simple for those who want to make some missions or even download this one once I'm done, keeping it simple. So, and to be quite frank, it's been a few months since I messed around with the scripting, so I have to relearn some of the stuff too. So, I just wanted to jump in and kind of show you everybody the nuclear reactor sites I built. There's some mods I downloaded for this, and I'll put in a link. I am no expert on nuclear reactor layouts, so they're just really randomly placed. I just put what I thought looked kind of cool. So anybody that's a nuclear physicist, feel free to leave a comment, give me a hard time. So, and I also apologize. Some of the screen was cut off. I've got, I do VR, but I also have a Samsung G9 ultra wide monitor. And so realizing most people watching YouTube don't have an ultra wide monitor, I shrunk this to film where people could see it. Here's my little layout. Certainly not a professional thing, but I thought it looks pretty cool. A little nice little location for some Mudhens to drop some bombs. So that's going to be the goal. So any feedback, feel free to leave it. You know, I appreciate if someone says, no, you know, they should be placed like this or whatever. Go ahead. And if anybody wants to file just with the SA3, 2s, and other layouts on there, feel free. Like I said, I'm going to give credit and a link to the gentleman who posted the actual markings. I did not put those marking locations on there. That was done by that gentleman off the forum. Or whatever. I don't know, you know, man or woman or whatever. So, don't forget late activation too. So, like I said, I'll walk through kind of a start to finish here in a second. But I just shown right now, I just clone it and change the names. But start to finish here. So start with the mission start, and then I name it. So this one will be SA3, and this is for their 5th unit. So SA3 5th activation. And then I'm color coding it just to kind of keep track. And I'm trying to keep it organized too, because the flags are going to get to, you know, I'm going to get up to like 35th flag or whatever. So I'm going to try to keep it in order so it's easy for me to remember, okay, I'm on flag 6 or 7, because I'm not going in order of unit names. I'm not that organized. So right now, this is the 6th unit I play, so it's going to be flag number 6. And then I change the value, so it's going to be a random value between 1 and 5. So then I will create another trigger, and it'll be a once trigger. It's going to just keep in the same name, SA3 5th activation. Just noticed I forgot the 5th activation part on there, so I have to go in and fix that, but you know. So flag 6, and just chose 3. You can use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't matter what value you choose, as long as it's one value. And then group activate, and then you go down and choose the unit. So in this case, it's the SA3 5th. Now, one thing too, the reason why I did chose 3 instead of a 4 and a 5 is I may decide that a 1 in 5 chance is just too low. It's not activating enough. It's not enough of a challenge. So I may want to go through and change the randomization maybe to a 1 in 3. I mean, I may even, you know, may decide to even go lower than that. I don't foresee it. What they're doing here is going through and making sure it's organized. So I'm moving them up and down. So flag 1, 2, 3. I'm just to keep track of it. So it's going to be in order. So I move them around a little bit to match that order. So flag 3 is going to be 3rd in position. But yeah, I may decide 1 and 5 is just not enough. And, you know, honestly, I don't know. So that's something I'm about to go through and kind of play around with, run the mission a few times and say, how many times is it activating? I got a lot to go through in order to get them all into the randomization. So I won't know until then how many are actually coming up. And of course, I don't know what a realistic number is. I know that just reading enough and kind of feedback from subject matter experts that it's very difficult to shut down a integrated air defense network for long term. So that's why I call it suppression of enemy air defenses versus destruction of enemy air defenses. And it is a multifaceted approach. I'll say something. So hopefully this helps and people enjoy. So I'm going to make some additional videos as the mission goes along. And if anyone has any questions, like I said, I don't consider myself a subject matter expert on some of the scripting stuff, but I've made plenty of missions now, and they're entertaining for me as a primarily single player. So love to help other people out. So it took me some time to learn some of this stuff and anything I can do to help. Thanks, everybody.